I think the way that we speak to our spouse can really just change everything. So that's amazing.
Yeah. When a man is disrespected, it takes him to, it takes him to a different realm. When a husband is not respected by his wife or a father by his children, it depletes him. It takes him to a whole different realm. That's why we have to be very, very careful as wives and as daughters to our dads, that we encourage and we uplift our husbands and our dads, because that's what encourages them to be a better man. That's what encourages them to be a better husband, a better father, is us. We have that power.
It's like men really need that. That's why it says that in scripture, that we should submit to him and respect him. It's like they get energized when we do that.
Yeah, it's a superpower. I'm telling you, it's a superpower. It's like, if I tell my husband will call me sometimes about a situation, and I tell him, baby, you got favor. You got the Most High God looking over you. He's put you in a position for such a time as this. And he wants you to, and when I tell, it's like he puts his cape on. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Try it. If you're married, try it. Tell your husband how great he is at what he does, or encourage him to take a step forward on something. I mean, be his cheerleader and watch how, I mean, you might at first, if you haven't done it in a long time, you might at first get the, what do you want? You might get that. Or, okay, you're just saying that. Or, you might get that, but so what? Keep doing it. Because practice doing that. And what your husband's motivation is going to change when you practice that.
I love that. That's one thing that I noticed at first. It was like when I would say something out of the blue for no reason and encourage him, he would just be like, okay, I know you're about to ask me something. What do you want from me? And at first he was like put off by it because he wasn't used to me doing it. But then after I did it more and more, he started to get encouraged by it. He's like, thanks, babe. And it just energizes them. And I think that's just so amazing. That's something that completely changed my life when you had taught me about this. So
it's the same with women. Who does not want to be told that they're beautiful? Who does not want to be told that they're attractive or that they're sexy by your husband, of course? Who does not want to be told this? So when my husband, before, when he used to tell me, you're so beautiful, I used to go, whatever. And I used to go, yeah, all right, whatever. Now he tells me I'm beautiful. I go, of course. Yes, I am. I'm beautiful. And it helps your self-esteem, and it helps if you just a tip here. As wives or fiancés, if you shut your husband down from telling you you're beautiful, he will stop telling you you're beautiful. If he shuts you down from telling him he's handsome, you're going to probably not say it. Yeah. Or that he's smart, or that he's, and we have to stop doing that. Yeah. Because it cuts what they're trying to do. And then don't complain if you never hear it again. Because you've shut it down so many times that it becomes, I'm not going to say it because I'm going to get this. So we have to encourage that type of encouragement for ourselves so that we can lift ourselves up, and then we can do it for one another more often than we do. Write a little note. Put it, when I pack my husband's lunch every day, I put notes in his lunch.
That's so good.
A heart, even just I love you, a heart, or you're the greatest. I tell people my husband's the smartest man in the whole wide world. And when I say that, he lights up. Because, it's encouragement.
Yeah. That's so good. And I think it's so important that the Bible talks about both aspects of it. And I think because women voices are so prominent on social media, a lot of women hear just the part of, just respect and submit to your husband, but they don't see the other part that says, husbands, love your wives. Let's pause really quick and talk about my favorite tortilla chip brand, Masa Chips. If you know me, you know that I am super against eating seed oils And it's been really hard when it comes to tortilla chips because, as you guys know, all of the chips at the store are made with vegetable oils and oils that just aren't good for you. So that being said, I was so happy to find masa chips because they're actually made with corn, and it's organic corn that's naturally nixtamalized, 100% grass-fed beef tallow, and sea salt. That's all these ingredients are. I feel so good after eating these chips. They're way different than like the store-bought brands or even like the better brands at the store. These are the only tortilla chips that I trust. And the best thing is that they actually have multiple flavors too. So I have the habanero flavor. This one is almost reminiscent of like a Dorito. We also have the lime flavor, and I think this one is so delicious. And my favorite part is like even the flavored ones, they're just made with like organic lime. That's it. Organic lime, organic corn, 100% grass-fed beef tallow, and sea salt. So all of their ingredients are so good. They have the original kind, and then they also have the churro flavor that I'm really, really obsessed with. So if you are interested in that, like eating without seed oils, you definitely want to try masa chips. And my favorite thing is that they are giving you guys 20% off when you use my code homemaker. All you have to do, go to masachips.com, use code homemaker, and get 20% off on your first order of chips. You guys are gonna love them. You definitely won't regret it because they actually have a crunch to them. They're just so good. You'll see what I mean. So go and use code homemaker and get masa chips today. All right, let's get back into our video. And it's also something that helps in communication. So maybe you can talk about the concept of love and respect, which is often emphasized in Christian marriage teachings. A lot of times, they tell young couples, hey, read Love and Respect. And who knows if they actually read it or not. But can you please explain the concept of love and respect and its importance? And maybe you can talk about the crazy cycle, the energizing cycle. So
yeah. So the main point of, and I mean, there might be other points, but what I got out of it. So when my husband and I did the Love and Respect, we did it together, and I got the workbook. So I like writing. I'm a visual learner, so I have to have notes. I have to be able to refer back to notes. Okay. So I did the workbook, and we read together. So we pretty much read. He read a paragraph, I read a paragraph, and we read a chapter. We tried to read a chapter every day.
Okay.
And that's what we encourage. We encourage couples to read it together. Or if you're not together for that much of a long period, you read it, but then you come together and you discuss the same chapter. Okay. But what it talks about is there's two cycles. There's a crazy cycle and there's an energizing cycle. And what the crazy cycle is it's like insanity. It's you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if I don't respect my husband, he's not going to show me love. That's the crazy cycle. And then you keep on that cycle. But he does, but he doesn't, but he doesn't. And then, but she doesn't, but she doesn't, but she doesn't. So that becomes a crazy cycle. And that becomes what ends in divorce most of the time. Is the crazy cycle. Now, the energizing cycle is when you show respect, and then in turn, he shows you love. And I've done this. It works. Anastasia has done this, and it works. Yeah. When you show your husband respect, it's like what we were talking about. You lift him up. You show him respect. When he tells you that he's thinking of something, you encourage him on that something that he's thinking of. All of those things become respect. It becomes, it's a superpower that he gains. And then in turn, he's going to love you. He's going to love on you. And we have to do this not expecting it to happen. When you don't expect it to happen, it will happen. You can't respect your husband and be his cheerleader and then say, well, I did it for 2 days and it didn't work. You're not going to get anything out of it if that's the kind of expectation you're going to have out of it. Now, if you love on your husband and you respect him without expecting anything back, it's going to make you feel good because it's going to make you feel like a good wife. And then in turn, it's going to come a point where he's going to say, you know what, baby, I love you so much. You know what? Go get a manicure. Or why don't you take some time for yourself? I'll take care of the kids. Whatever it is that your love language is, you have to know your love languages. It's not what makes or breaks a marriage, but it's good to know the love languages, because if your love language is gifts, he's going to come home and bring you a gift.
Yeah.
Because that's how he's going to show you love.
Mm.
Okay. That's the energizing cycle. And then when you receive that from your spouse, on whatever side it is, when you receive that from the spouse, it starts to energize you. It starts to make you want to do it more. It starts to make you want to do it for your kids. It starts to make you want to do it for your, it just energizes you, as opposed to the crazy cycle of just a hamster on a wheel. And you keep doing that and keep doing that. And either you go through the motions of a marriage and you're unhappy, or you end up in divorce.
Okay.
Or, having to have marriage counseling and hopefully trying to fix it. But, that's what the cycles are. That's what love and respect is.
Okay. So you're saying that if you're disrespecting your husband, he's not encouraged to love you.
Correct.
And if he's not loving you, you're not encouraged to respect him.
Correct.
So to get on the energizing cycle, one person has to decide, or they both have to decide that that the husband's either going to start loving the wife so that she can be encouraged to respect him. And then the wife needs to start respecting the husband so that he can be encouraged to love her. And then on the energizing cycle, they're both getting excited, energized. And it's like this beautiful cycle of
continuous.
I love that.
Yep.
That's so
it's
good.
It's continuous. And it's either going to come with, if you guys are at a point where you're not doing this and you go to marriage counseling and they suggest this, it's either going to come to where you're both doing it, or it's either going to come to where somebody has to start. And if it's somebody that you can get in and out of these cycles. Okay. Both of these cycles, as your marriage evolves into full-time work and kids and all of these things, you can be in and out of these cycles.
Okay.
But when you're in the cycle, somebody has to say, enough is enough. We're going to get into the energizing cycle. And if you know what love and respect is, and what the book is about, and what the effect is, somebody's going to say, okay, we need to get out of the crazy cycle into the energizing cycle. One of you two are going to say it. And when one of you two say it, either you both get on board, or somebody's going to have to just start.
And sometimes that takes us as women, right? It takes us realizing and being honest with ourselves about all the interactions that we've had with our husbands, and ask ourselves, have we been disrespectful with our husbands? And it was, for me at least, something that I know that I had to start realizing what I was doing, be honest with myself, and start getting on the energizing cycle, start showing my husband respect. And it has been just so beautiful to see the change in our relationship when we're both trying our best for my husband to love me as best as he can, and for me to respect him. And because I respect him, he is encouraged to love me more and more. And it is just so peaceful and joyous when you guys are both wanting to love each other the best that you guys can, I think. Yep.
So, and you're trying to outdo each other. It gets to the point where you try to outdo each other on love and respect so much that it's joyful, and on top of that, it's that becomes preferring your spouse. Then that becomes in laying your life down for one another. That becomes in so many different things.
That's so good.
It grows into all of that.
So good. I love that.